Welcome back everyone to Small Talk. Today I'm going to do a brief update on what's happening in the stock market, what's happening in the society in general, from Trump attacks to Elon Musk's reaction to Cybertruck usage in the attack, and the stock market and Tesla stock. All of that is going to be discussed in this video. So first thing first, we all know that there were last week there were actually this week, today is still Saturday, there were two attacks on Trump pretty much. One of them was used with the Cybertruck. The person was riding the Cybertruck and he went and he blew up the truck basically in one of his hotels. Surprisingly, no damage was done to his building, to Trump's building. However, the truck itself didn't even have that much damage. It pretty much shows how sturdy and strong the build of the Tesla Cybertruck is. Usually I'm not a big fan of the build quality of the Tesla vehicles in general, but I think they're built very cheaply. However, the Cybertruck seems to be pretty strong. Elon Musk also reacted to this attempt because there was some news, there were lots of news that were posted on the social media and on the news pages in general, stating that a Cybertruck blew up, Cybertruck caught on fire, things of that nature, and Elon Musk did not like the way it was reported. It should have been Cybertruck were used in an attack. Instead, it seemed like they're blaming the Cybertruck, where Cybertruck has nothing to do with the attack that took place on Trump. So rightfully so, Elon Musk, of course, was to react to this kind of fake news, so to speak, or misguided news. Luckily, no damage was done. The person has killed himself in this blast, and not that much damage was done to the Cybertruck. Also, the building is not much damage is done. However, this should be an ongoing investigation. This is the third or fourth attack on Trump, I guess. Since he's been running for the presidential as a presidential candidate. It shows there are lots of mental health issues in the country. I was actually listening to somebody and he suggested that it shows that so many people have mental health problems in the country, and to my surprise, this is the first time a white person said that. Usually it's that mental health scenario only applies to white Americans. I'm not being racist, but they are racist when they say that. Whenever it's Muslims, it's obviously a terrorist attack. Whenever it's any black people do something, they particularly mention that it's a black man, age of ABC, and he's wearing such and such clothes. When it's a Caucasian white person, they never mention it's a white person. They say it's a 32 years old man wearing a blue shirt and hat, etc., etc. So they never mention their race in particular, because when it's a white person, he's either one, a loner wolf and has mental health issues, and two, why even bring it up if it's not black or Hispanic or Muslims? Then everything is good. It's all well and good. But anyways, I was very happy, and I did make a comment. I was like, I'm glad that you say that there are lots of mental health issues in the country, and it represents how many mental health issues are causing these kind of attacks on people like Trump. Usually, it's only for those who have your skin color. He never responded back to my comment, but I thought I should just make a point there. I usually don't do that, but I was just so tempted to type this that I actually did that. Anyways, that took place a couple days ago. I'm sure everybody has heard the news and read the news, and everybody knows how it's progressing, what's going on, what the motive was behind it, all that good stuff. I don't think I need to go into much details. Now we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin did drop significantly the last couple weeks, and I had obviously suggested that it might go down to $80,000 range, which it didn't go. But I still think it might go to those levels. Some of the analysts at the stock market are thinking that it's probably going to go to 60K level before it goes to $160,000 in 2025, which I think they're just pushing it too far. So I don't think it's going to go to $60,000. $80,000 to $85,000 is a possibility. Still, it might drop to $80,000, $85,000 in the near future before it goes up to $160,000 by the end of 2025. So if it does go to $80,000, $85,000, I might start a position in Bitcoin. If it goes to 60, great. Then I have enough money to buy one coin at least. So I'll just buy one coin and I'll hold on to it until 2030. And then maybe I'll be $1 million rich by 2030 if I'm alive still by then. So that's the news on Bitcoin. I still think it might drop down to $80,000 after the inauguration, and depending on which way the market goes, how some of the regulatory issues are consolidating, what is Trump going to do after he gets into the office and all that good stuff. So by the end of the month, I think we'll have a clear idea of what to expect from Bitcoin. Now we're going to talk about Tesla. Of course, my all-time favorite stock. If you guys remember, I mentioned in one of those videos that if Tesla stock hits before the end of the year $400, I'll consider myself. Actually, it was end of November, I believe. I'll consider myself a bull market genius. And it did hit 400 and beyond. It went as high as almost 490 or 488, around that range. But then it collapsed. It collapsed almost $100 from that point. And there were multiple reasons, of course. It was first end of the year. There was lots of profit taking. And then after the Fed's meeting, when they said they are probably going to do 2 rate cuts in in 2025, of course, market had uncertainty and they didn't know what to expect in the 2025, whether they're going to do any rate cuts, are they going to pause it, are they going to do the rate cuts in the early part of the year, or they're going to divide them, one in January and maybe one later on. So market doesn't like uncertainty, and whenever that's the situation, market starts selling. Number 2, it was profit taking and tax season harvesting. So in December, of course, lots of people were selling. Hedge funds had to rebalance their portfolios. Kathy Wood, as everybody knows, she always balances her portfolio whenever Tesla stock hits all-time high, because then the valuation has gotten so much that she can only keep, I think, 10% of her portfolio in Tesla shares. So if it goes more than 10%, because the price has gone up so much, then she shreds some of the shares and then she buys into some other stock. So that was the other reason why Tesla was down. And then it was down on January 2nd a lot. It collapsed. And the reason why it collapsed, because in first time in last 7 or 10 years, it missed on its quarterly delivery expectations. Market was expecting Tesla to deliver between 510 to 515,000 vehicles for the quarter, and it was 1% off from the expectation. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 1% of $515,000 is a lot of vehicles that it missed. And because it missed for the first time, it kind of showed like the high-end Tesla vehicles have problems selling. It's easier to sell the cheaper models of Tesla, whereas high-end models are not as easy as to sell. And the Cybertruck, people had high expectations of Cybertruck that it would sell quite a bit, but it didn't sell as much as it was expected. Even I was of the opinion that because the tax credit ends on December 31st, the people who are willing to buy Tesla, they would of course buy before the year end, and I think the third quarter deliveries and revenue will exceed. But I was actually shocked to see that it missed the deliveries for the first time in so many years, which was a disappointment for obviously Tesla bulls. Well, bulls were still bulls. I think people who were not very sure about Tesla and the future of the company, they obviously had to sell. And so sometimes people just do panic sell, and then they have the stop losses, so trigger stop losses, and it just, once it starts selling, it just keeps selling for so many multiple reasons. But then come January, also, market was down on January 2nd because some people were of the opinion that since Biden has higher taxes in 2024, Trump is going to take over, and for this year, he's going to lower the taxes. So why sell the stock and take capital gain and pay high tax for 2024 when they can sell the first day of January, take profit, and maybe possibly pay lower taxes in January, for the 2025 year. I don't know how true that is, because last time when Trump was appointed, obviously he didn't do any tax credit for middle class or lower class. The tax credit was only for the elites and the upper class, people who were at least making $1 billion or more. I'm not a billionaire, so I don't expect much from Trump's tax credit anyway, or tax cut much. But some, of course, people, maybe there were some institutions who sold in 2025 because they are billion-dollar companies and they can get some benefit from it. Or some of the big hedge fund manager, like Warren Buffett type people, they might have sold in January thinking that they will get a tax cut in 2025 because Trump is going to implement new policies and they will have to pay lower taxes. So January 2nd was the first day of the year where we saw sell down pressure on the entire stock market. I mentioned in my last video, I have a friend who's literally penny flipper. She she does day trading, and I told you that I made a couple $100 last 2 weeks ago, and by doing day trading. I don't day trade. So I mentioned this one stock that I thought people should buy, which was Archer Aviation and Serv, SERV, and ACHR, I think, is the ticker symbol for Archer. Those stocks, Archer I bought because Kathy Woods bought it after she sold Tesla. That's an AI stock. And then Serv Robotic is also a robotic company, which with the AI progressing this year and Trump administration, who's very pro-technology, that stock has been going up. And the other reason why I bought, because NVDA and Uber, they're both backing this stock. And then NVIDIA, yesterday I read the news that their position is at least they own 10% of the Serv shares, which put the stock at a very high price yesterday. So we bought it the day before New Year's, my friend and I both. I only put like $700-800 in it. So of course on the second, the market crashed, and she sent me those crying emojis. Oh my God, market is just pooping today. I'm losing money. I said, it's okay, relax. You're not losing money. It's just a red day. That happens. Just wait, give it a week, couple days. It's gonna bounce back. And Serv is a good stock. It's not going anywhere. So on January 3rd, of course, 9:30 or 9:45 in the morning, stock jumped up to $15. We bought, our cost basis was $13.50. So we bought at $13.50. It jumped to $15. She sold it, and then she texted me. She said, Serv sold at 15. I said, why would you sell? It's on uptrend right now. And there's a big news that NVIDIA has disclosed its position in Serv is 10%. So stock's gonna go up today. And she goes, no, I was too scared. And then at 17, when it reached $17, she texted me, did you sell Serv yet? I said, no. She said, well, you should. It's struggling. I said, no, it's not struggling. So her idea is if stock goes up to $17 and then it comes down to like maybe $16.90, she thinks stock is struggling. She expects us to just keep going up and up. She doesn't realize that whatever goes up, it has to come down. It pulls back a little bit, and then it puts a new upward pressure. So I set my price target initially at $19. But then I saw that it's still an uptrend, so I changed it to $19.50. So stock went all the way up to $19.60, but my sell order was at $19.50. So I sold it at almost perfect price for the day. And then I texted her at 3 o'clock and I said, hey, listen, I sold my Serv at $19.50. She goes, how do you do this? For some reason, you know exactly when to sell. I said, yeah, you read the news, you look at the trend, you look at the chart. I'm not a chart analyst. I don't know how to analyze the charts, and I don't know how to read them and how to do all that. But you have to have at least some basic understanding, like which direction the stock is moving, and then you can make your decisions. Of course, it's risky, but investing in the stock market is risky, period. Then you shouldn't even be there if you're so scared. But anyways, so Serv is doing well. It closed over $19. Archer is also going up. It closed at 1150-ish range. So it's doing well. Both of these stocks have been performing phenomenal since I mentioned them. Now let's go back to Tesla. So it missed the delivery. Stock market went down. Of course, there are so many people who were waiting on the sideline because the valuation was much higher. And then so many people jumped back in, and it went back up yesterday, which was Friday, and as it closed over $400, I think at $412. That's what the Friday close was. And I was reading some article this morning which suggested that Tesla needs to do a couple things. First of all, when Trump takes, after the inauguration, the transportation department has a priority to make regulations easy on EV vehicles, electric vehicles, which is wonderful news because they are going to ease the regulation, at least at the federal level. We understand that states is going to have their own implication, but that at least gets one step out of the way for Tesla. Number two, Tesla should, I think, introduce their under $30,000 vehicle that they announced. I think it's called the Model Q. That's what they're naming it. It's a hatchback sedan. They should introduce into the market as soon as possible, which is going to, of course, boost the stock. And then Elon Musk always says that it's not a car company. It's obviously an AI company. And in this era of AI, the next 10 to 15 years, or at least next 5 years, is going to be the very hot topic. And whatever stocks which are connected to AI are going to perform very well. And the examples are NVDA, Broadcom, Serve Robotics, Archer Aviation. All these things are somehow affiliated with AI, so they're all doing great. They're all, market is just bullish on these stocks. So Tesla is also going to perform very well. These pullbacks, retracements at certain prices are very healthy, and you want that because when the stock drops to certain levels, certainly new buyers get in and it brings the stock to next new all-time high, which is what you need. If it just keeps going up, which is not going to happen, then it becomes very risky. People have to take profits. Not everybody has the appetite to just sit there and wait and not take profit. Profit taking is not losing money. You never lose money by taking profit. If you think you're satisfied with the performance of the stock at a certain level and you think you don't want to be greedy anymore and this is good enough for me, it's okay to take profit. And that's what lots of people do. People like me, I'm willing to take my chances, especially when there are so much in the pipeline for a particular stock. I don't sell them. I just wait and see, and I try to sell them at as perfect level as I possibly can. But sometimes I do lose money. It's not like I'm always right and I'm always the winner, but I'm willing to lose that money. I'm willing to take that risk, and that's how I play. So Tesla, they have, if they introduce their fleet of robotaxis in the market, that is, of course, just $1 billion right there for Tesla. Tesla was at $3 trillion, I think, when it hit 488. So by the end of this year, I think it's going to be a $2 trillion company, which is not too far away because it's already, going to that direction. So their fleet of robotaxis, they're under $30,000. The hatchback new model that they announced has to come into the market as quickly as possible. Easing in regulatory restrictions by Trump, at least at the federal level, is going to put a boost. Also, Tesla is announcing their fourth quarter earnings on January 29th. If they have good earnings, then that's going to be an awesome moment for Tesla. And Tesla is, I have no doubts in my mind that it's going to go 500 and beyond. So now the question is, when would you sell Tesla? For me personally, the price target is, I think the highest is $690 price target, or $675. So in my opinion, most of the large institutions will start taking profit at $615 level, $610, $615, $616 level. So for me, once the Tesla crosses $600, given that the price target has not been increased and they haven't made an announcement which puts which adds momentum to the Tesla stock, as the way it is, and in the given scenario with the current price targets, once it hits $600 and it starts going towards $615 range, I know most of the institution will probably start taking profits, and at that point I will start taking some profit as well. However, if the situation changes, let's say they announce that their robotaxis are coming in next 2 months, of course I'm not going to sell the stock. Or if one or two or multiple analysts increase their price target for Tesla, then I'm going to hold. But I would suggest that it will be a wise idea to take some profit once it goes to $600, because I think that's a very healthy point. At that point, I think it's going to come down a little bit, because psychologically, when people look at, okay, what was the highest price target for Tesla? $615 or $675, whatever. The retailers, the large institutions who've been holding Tesla at the $190 level or $100 level. I know we have an account with one of the financial advisor, and he bought Tesla for us. I can look that up online. I think at $150. So I think when it goes to 600, they're probably going to take some profit and reinvest that money into some other stock. So because that's what they do for their clients, to make sure that we as a client don't lose that much money. So those institutions who have bought that stock at a very low price, some bought at $90 per share. When it collapsed not too long ago, it went to $90. So of course those institutions are happy to make 600% profit within the span of 6-7 months time or a year time. You can't beat that. So they are going to take profit at those levels. And then they're going to reinvest that money either back into Tesla when it goes down or into some other stock. So again, back to when do you sell Tesla? To answer that question, I think is never. You just keep on riding, and because it's a development that's taking place. It's the company that's growing every day. But if you need the money or you want to utilize the money elsewhere, then $600 will be a good place to sell Tesla stock within the next couple of months. I think it's going to get to that point maybe by the end of first quarter of this year. Next I'm going to talk about NVIDIA. We just see that NVIDIA did sell a lot. It was in correction territory for a few days. Then of course there was same holiday season, tax harvesting, end of year balancing, etc. But you can see that there were so many people who were waiting to get into Tesla that it just right back up. It went from $126, I think that's how low it went, to all the way to $146. That's where it closed within the span of this past 2 weeks. So NVIDIA is a story that you don't want to miss on. That's one of the stock that you should have a position in and hold it for longer term and keep adding to the position as you get some cash, some extra money. If you sell some other stock, like low quality stocks or penny stocks, you can make quick bucks from those stocks, but they're very risky. So if whatever profits you make, you might want to put them into NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is the story of the next 2-3 years at least, if not more. There's at least 20 to 30 or 40% upside potential by the year 2025 in NVIDIA. It's not my opinion. It's most of the analysts on Wall Street have this opinion, and everybody is buying into NVIDIA. So if you have cash, if you have some of the low quality stocks that you want to get rid of, do so and buy NVIDIA and ride till the end of the year at least, make 40%, 30% profit, which will be awesome. If you can hold it longer, even better, and keep adding to the position, dollar cost average sort of, and save money for your retirement, for your children's college, their wedding, whatever you want to save it for. That's what I would do. Now, Broadcom is another AI play which certainly popped up so much because of their last earning. They did an amazing job, and their forecast for the next, quarters and years to come, the CEO just kept on talking, and the announcements that he made was amazing. So Broadcom jumped up so much. I think that's also one of the very good stocks to buy as we speak, because these stocks have very high possibility of adding another 20, 30, 40 minimum at least, if not higher. They could go up to another 100% by the end of this year, depending on their quarterly earnings, what announcements they make, etc. I'd like to mention one stock that I've been holding since 2022. It's called KULR. The cost basis for me for that stock was 34 cents or 32 cents. It's a little over 30 cents. I invested $2,000 into that stock. It went down very low. It was in the red all these 2 years. I was in pain at the time I looked at it. But I didn't sell. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold on to it and see which direction it goes. It was a penny stock. I should have sold it when it went up. It didn't go up. Now I'm losing so much money. I'm losing it anyway. So might as well let's just hold and see what happens. So I just wanted to put emphasis on what Bitcoin can do to the stock market. Then they recently announced that they of course had some small contracts as well recently, one with military, one with some other Chinese companies. So those contracts helped to for the stock to go up a little bit. And then they announced that they're going to buy $12 million worth Bitcoin as their reserve. And the day they announced it, it ran up 12, within a week, it ran up 1,200%. So my $2,000 investment became $30,000 roughly, which I was just pleasantly surprised. But see, that's and it's still going. It's not like it has stopped. Then it pulled back a little bit. It went from 35 cents to all the way, 41 cents to all the way $5.50. And then it went back to 290 roughly within the past 2 days. But now it's riding back up. I haven't sold it yet because there's so much going on in their pipeline. They have some announcements to make in the near future. They have some new contracts in the pipeline. And the fact that the Bitcoin is going up again, I think the stock is going to go up again. And the momentum is there. So when the momentum is there, as they say, trend is your friend. So you follow the trend. When you see that, okay, momentum is going down, the share traded volume is going down, that's where you want to sell. So if it drops back a little bit from its highest price, it's okay, that's the time to sell. If it starts losing momentum, if it starts losing the volume, and if there's no news in the pipeline, good time to sell and take some profits, or just sell the position, period. But the point I'm trying to make is that whenever a name Bitcoin is attached with any of the stocks, it's going to make those stocks run. So back to my original theory, Bitcoin is the way to go. If you have the money, invest in Bitcoin or invest into the companies who are interested in Bitcoin. There are lots of people who are buying Coinbase. That's where you trade Bitcoin. I'm not a big fan of Coinbase, so I've never had a position in Coinbase. I don't plan on having a position. I don't know why. It's just something that I just don't have interest in, and I don't want to buy that stock. But I think if you have faith in Bitcoin, you can buy not only in Bitcoin, but those companies who are affiliated with Bitcoin for some reason, one way or the other, and you can ride and make some money on it. Recently, I've noticed that so many small cap stocks, particularly the penny stocks, have been going parabolic. They have been giving 100, 200, 300% profit in one day. I made that mistake in 2021. 2020. I was very new to the market, and I bought most of the stocks that I bought were penny stocks because they were going crazy, just like the way they're going right now. And I didn't realize the penny stocks, once they jump up 100, 200%, it's time to sell. I thought they're just gonna, just like my friend, I thought they should just keep going up because I was very new to the market. And I held on to those and I lost so much money. I still have those dead stocks sitting in my portfolio. I didn't sell them because I don't want to take the loss. I want to take the loss when we sell other stocks at profit, so it's a wash. That loss is also somewhat valuable. I'll be happy if they recover and at least I get my money back, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon unless I dollar cost average. They are at a very low price right now. Maybe I can just, because then what happened was some of the penny stocks, they had the reverse split, which means if I had 10,000 shares, now I only have 800 shares left. That's crazy at a very low price. It's if my cost basis was $10 per share, $1 per share, now they're at 20, 30 cents, and my share quantity has gone down because they had a reverse split. Those of you who don't know what reverse split is, it's like when companies dilute their share, or the share value has gone so much that they are threatened to be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Then company merge their shares. So for every 20, 30 shares, they'll give you one share. Of course, the share price goes up at that moment, but reverse splits are considered to be very bad. That means that company is in such a bad shape that they have to do a reverse split. Means they have to combine so many shares to make one share, so the price is higher. so it doesn't get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. So many of my stocks have done that, and now though I bought them at 50, 60 cents or $1 per share, now with the reverse split, because for every 20, 30 or 50 share, they only gave me one share. So at the time, the price was from $1 to $5 per share, but now the price dropped even more, went to 20 cents. And now my cost bases are like $25, $30, where the stock is trading at 20 cents or 30 cents. So there's no way I'm going to recover that money unless I lower my cost basis. I buy $2,000 or $3,000 worth of stocks to kind of lower my average, and maybe if it jumps up another 100, 200% in a day, I'll recover my money. But I don't know if I'm willing to do this. So penny stocks are doing well. It's a good way to make quick money. It's literally gambling. So being the faith that I follow, of course, I am not allowed to gamble, but I have done that in the past. These are very speculative stock. So speculation in the stock market is true gambling, and according to my faith, gambling is prohibited, forbidden. So you shouldn't be doing this if you're Muslim. But if you think that you want to do it, be my guest. It's your personal life. I am no one to judge anybody. But it's a good way to make some quick money if you know when to time the market, if you know how to read the charts, if you know how to read the trend, momentum, and all that good stuff. And not to be too greedy. So if you make 50% profit, just sell them. Don't wait for it to go to 200, 300%. That's where you lose money. That's what happened to me. All right, so Tesla sell at $600 level. Given that everything stays the same, it shouldn't take that long for Tesla to get to those points, those levels. We also have CPI data release in January. I don't remember the dates. I read them couple days ago, but now I've gone blank. And I think the FOMC meeting is on January 27th and 28th, if I remember it correctly. And FOMC is usually between during the middle of the month, so probably between 12th and 15th. I don't remember what date it was, but you can in fact just double check the date. So FOMC meeting will show, the CPI data will show how the inflation is going, and then the CPI release will obviously determine the CPI. The FOMC meeting. Jerome Powell will determine based off of the data that they've received for January for December, if they're going to do a rate cut or not, or when are they going to do rate cuts, if any, or if they're just going to pause the rates, and that will determine which way the stock market is going to go. I think stock market has already priced in maybe they won't do any rate cuts, but I think it has just digested that. But still, it still gets into a shock. They still have 50-50 hope that maybe they will do 2 rate cuts. Some analysts of the opinion that they probably won't do any rate cut in 2025. If that happens, of course, it's going to put a downward pressure on the stock market, which means they don't have inflation under control. They cannot declare victory, and it's time for them. And it's going to be, more Fed tightening, which in return puts lots of pressure on the real estate. There's, you can't afford real estate because the interest rates are so high. Until the rates go down, not then people are going to buy or sell property, which the real estate market suffers. So a lot has to be determined within the next 2 to 3 months. And that's where we'll get a clear picture of which direction 2025 is going. Most of the analysts in the stock market are of the opinion that 2025 is going to be a great year. Of course, there's going to be lots of bumps on the way, especially the first half of the year is going to be a bumpy ride. But at the end of the year, we'll close another, maybe not 20% higher, but maybe 10 to 15% higher. S&P will close another grow another 10 to 15%. We'll see how it goes. So for the next 3 months, you have to be very careful how you invest. Don't be too greedy. Don't jump into the stock that you're not sure of. Do your due diligence and make your own decisions. Whatever I've said in this video is not a personalized financial advice. Of course, everybody knows their own financial situations, so make decisions based off your own financial situations and your own risk tolerance. I hope this video helps. Please give my video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Until next video, goodbye and good luck.